Welcome to Salusion's Guide to ICHRAs. An ICHRA is a health plan that lets employers reimburse employees for medical expenses. And those reimbursements are not subject to federal income or payroll taxes. In this video, you'll learn how to create and administer an ICHRA. The video is divided into 4 sections. In the first section, we describe how ICHRAs work, covering key rules and regulations, and Salusion's application of them. Next, we'll show you how easy it is to create an ICHRA with Salusion. You can do it in 15 minutes. In the third section, we'll go over how to administer an ICHRA. And finally, we'll explore the ICHRA from the employee's perspective. Let's dive in. An individual is eligible to participate in an ICHRA if they meet the following 3 criteria. First, they must be classified as a W-2 employee. Sole proprietors, partners, and LLC owners are not considered employees and thus cannot participate. That said, their non-owner, employee family members, can participate. Greater than 2% owners of an S-Corp, along with their families, are ineligible. However, employee owners of a C-Corp are eligible. Second, the employee, and any family members seeking reimbursement, must be enrolled in Individual Coverage Health Insurance or Medicare. Individual coverage refers to health insurance purchased by employees for themselves and their families, typically through the marketplace or an individual coverage broker. Vision and dental do not qualify as individual coverage health insurance. Neither does employer-sponsored group plans, COBRA, TRICARE, or healthcare sharing ministries. Finally, to participate in an ICHRA, the employee must belong to a class of employees that is offered the ICHRA. Employers define employee classes based on their inclusion or exclusion from 10 different categories. Once defined, the employer may offer an ICHRA to an employee class. The ICHRA benefit may vary between classes, but all employees within a class must receive an ICHRA with the same benefit. The most common categories used to classify employees include limiting the ICHRA to full-time employees, distinguishing between salaried and non-salaried employees, providing different benefits to employees in different geographical areas. Here is an example of an employer that wants to offer an ICHRA to its full-time employees who have satisfied a 90-day waiting period. For a medical expense to be eligible for reimbursement, it must meet 3 requirements. First, the expense must be incurred in the plan year. Second, the expense must be for the employee, the employee's spouse, an employee's child who is 26 years old or under, or an employee's tax dependent. Lastly, the ICHRA can only reimburse medical expenses defined in IRS Code 213D. 213D expenses cover out-of-pocket medical costs like deductibles, co-pays, and prescriptions, as well as health insurance premiums. Salusion provides employers with 2 options for eligible expenses. The first option is to make all 213D expenses eligible for reimbursement. The second, and more popular choice, is to limit reimbursements to insurance premiums only. There are 2 key advantages to this approach. First, when an ICHRA is restricted to premiums, employees can still participate in other pre-tax benefits, such as FSAs and HSAs. Second, if your ICHRA only covers premiums, it is exempt from non-discrimination testing. With Salusion, allowances are made available in monthly increments and accrue throughout the employee's plan year. When an employee submits an expense, Salusion will approve it that evening, and the expense will enter the queue for reimbursement. If the allowance accrued is greater than the expense, then the full expense amount will be reimbursed. If the expense exceeds the amount of accrued allowance, then the expense will be partially reimbursed and the remainder will be reimbursed automatically when more allowance becomes available. After the plan year ends, employees have 75 calendar days to submit claims for expenses incurred during that plan year. And used allowance reimburses these expenses. Any unused allowance remaining after the year-end runout is forfeited. After an employee is terminated, they may no longer submit claims for reimbursement. When it comes to reimbursing eligible expenses, Salusion offers 3 options. First, there are manual reimbursements. When an employee submits an expense, Salusion approves it the same day. Then Salusion provides you with a monthly reimbursement report so that you can reimburse employees directly. Most employers prefer ACH reimbursements, as it simplifies ICHRA administration. Once an employee's expense is approved, Salusion initiates an ACH debit from the employer's account, and then credits the employee's account. Reimbursements usually reach the employee's account in about 4 business days. If your ICHRA only covers premiums, there is also an option for premium payments. With this, employers pay the entire insurance premium directly to the carrier and recover the employee's contribution through a payroll deduction. For a deeper dive into how this works, we suggest watching the video titled Reimbursement Options on Salusion's ICHRA page. Premium tax credits help lower the cost of health insurance purchased through the marketplace. However, employees and their families are ineligible for premium tax credits if an employer offers an affordable ICHRA or if the employee chooses to participate in the ICHRA. An ICHRA is deemed affordable if the self-only allowance exceeds the difference between the lowest cost silver plan on the marketplace and 8.39% of the employee's income. If the ICHRA is not affordable, employees can opt out and receive any eligible premium tax credits. If you're an employer with fewer than 50 employees, you'll need to file 2 tax forms, a 1094-B and a 1095-B. If you have 50 or more employees, you will file a 1094-C and a 1095-C. The 1095 is sent to both your employees and the IRS, reporting the health coverage provided under your ICHRA. The 1094 is a cover sheet that only goes to the IRS, summarizing your health coverage offering and how many 1095s you're submitting. Now that you understand how an ICHRA works, let's walk through the steps to set one up. To begin, click on any of the Start Your HRA Now links provided on the Salusion website. You'll be directed to a workflow where you can enter information about your company and create your plan. ICHRA plans operate on a plan year that coincides with the calendar year. You can start the plan at any time, but the plan year will always end in December, with the next plan year beginning in January. Next, add an employee class. The first step in creating an employee class is defining eligibility by selecting who to include or exclude from the class. Then, choose the expenses that will be eligible for reimbursement. Finally, set the allowance. The allowance can be uniform for all employees, or vary based on the employee's family size, age, or both. If you have more than 50 full-time equivalents, you can create a cost-effective, ACA-compliant ICHRA. For guidance on how this works, see the discussion titled 50+ Employees and explore the ICHRA calculator on Salusion's ICHRA page. After your employee classes are created, the final step in setting up your ICHRA is to decide how employees will be reimbursed. Now that your ICHRA is created, the next step is to onboard employees. To add an employee to Salusion, click Add Employee. If you need to add multiple employees at once, download the Excel template, fill it out, and click Upload Employees. To remove an employee, simply click the Terminate button next to their name. Once employees are in Salusion, you'll need to mark them as eligible for the ICHRA. Enter the date the employee becomes eligible, and specify which class they belong to. The final step to onboard employees is to send them an invite. If you choose to automate reimbursements through ACH, this is all you need to do to administer your ICHRA. To access real-time data about your ICHRA, open the menu and click Documents and Reports. In the Reports folder, you'll find your monthly reports and tax reporting documents. In the Plan Documents folder, you can find a copy of your plan documents and your Administrative Services Agreement. Salusion supports multiple administrators. To add an administrator, open the menu, go to Plan Settings, and click Administrators. If the administrator is an employee of the firm, click Employees and select the employee. If the administrator is external, such as an accountant, click Add External TPA. Next, choose their level of access and send them an invite. Once invited, Salusion sends employees a welcome email. This email directs them to an onboarding process, where they will do the following: opt in or out of the ICHRA, create a login and password, and provide proof of insurance. Employees without insurance are directed to a Salusion partner to purchase coverage, with access to live chat and phone support for assistance in choosing a plan. For employers offering direct payments, employees can choose that option and enter the necessary payment details, completing the setup. If ACH reimbursements are selected, employees will be prompted to enter their bank information. Employees are now ready to submit health claims. The first step is to upload a receipt. They can either upload the receipt to the web application, or take a picture of it on their smartphone through the Salusion app. After that, they enter a few basic facts about the expense and click Submit. Salusion approves expenses every evening, and the ACH process can be initiated as quickly as the following day. If an employee or an administrator has any questions, there is a little blue button at the bottom of the screen. There they can either send us an email or schedule a call via Zoom.